Okay, let's go.
Good. How you doing, Peepez?
Yeah, Peepez. I'm not Peepez today. I'm like Tommy Boy, bro. Like I have been in like San Diego, San Diego, San Diego, three different locations, and now up here in Los Angeles. So like I am on the I'm I'm doing what I ask you guys to do. This is my version of prospecting, right? Is being on the road, which is always fun, exciting, and inspiring. So
I
I'll
should just go with you, and then while you're doing your thing, I'll be like, "Hey, you could, have him and me, and like."
you get a twofer, right? You
All
get a twofer for sure. Yeah, that's amazing. So, well, cool, man. So, guys, hope you, Nazar, I'll turn it over to you. Obviously, I don't have to turn anything over to you, but obviously take it, run with it, and then turn it over to me, man. So,
Well, there's like 13 of us on here, so I guess we'll wait a second for people to join, or
yeah,
maybe we don't. We just start and be like, "Hey, we appreciate all the ones that have taken the time to get here on time." It's good to see Corey on here. Xander's here. It's exciting. Um, so let's just go ahead and get things going. Bill, take it away.
yeah. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Let's take a couple of minutes, um, 2 to 5 minutes, and really unpack what happened last week. Okay. Because I think it's important for everyone to understand what happened, why it happened, so that you can intelligently have that narrative with your clients. If you look last week, obviously the Fed met, the Fed cut rates as we were expecting, and mortgage rates went from 6.13 to 6.37. Right? We saw a movement up. Anyone want to take a stab at why that happened? Like what caused that? Because here's before you answer, here's why this is important. Your clients see on the news the Fed cut rates. The normal consumer thinks, well, if the Fed cut rates, that must mean that mortgage rates have come down, right? And it went adversely. It actually went up instead of down, right? And I said that on our previous call, said, hey, we need to pay attention. We could see this. It was a September move from last year. So does anyone have any insight on why that happened? Like, unmute yourself. Take a stab at this, guys.
Well, the
I
mortgage rates got
I will
cut
quote the great
or
Ferris Bueller.
I'll
Bueller.
go. It's because it was only a 1/4% cut when that was built into the plan well before, and there was a slight possibility that it might be more than a quarter.
Yeah.
So, because it was just a quarter, it increased. If it would have been a half, it likely would have decreased. So
It would have had a, excuse me, Corey. You're absolutely 100% correct. That is a major portion of it. We would have needed to have seen a 50 basis point move by the Fed to be able to justify, because there was already an expectation, a like almost 100% expectation of a 25 basis point cut. So because of that high probability, the markets moved in advance. And I said that to you guys. I said, hey, pay attention. The move that we saw may be the move in advance. And that was it. Right. However, there was a second piece as well, too. If you took the chance, which is really boring to watch Jerome Powell speak, right? And to actually field the questions and to answer those questions of the media. He said one thing that really impacted the markets more than anything else. And it's called a it's called a dot plot or a dot chart map. What that is the expectation of the 16 or 17 Fed chairs on what they're going to be doing next. Now, here's what he said. We got a split Fed. You have 50% of the Fed that's saying we're one and done and there's no more cuts. You got another 50% that's saying we have two more cuts, right? And so because of that, that uncertainty about what the Fed is going to do impacted the Treasury, the bond market, which impacts the mortgage rates, right? Also, the Fed said they're planning on releasing a lot of mortgage-backed securities, which is going to flood the market, having an impact on the bond market, et cetera. There were two components. So here's the key, guys, as we look at this. And by the way, I apologize. I'm in a hotel. It'll freeze a little bit. You'll be able to hear me, and I'll do my best not to freeze in a really weird position. Okay. Here's the key. The key is this, and I want you to write this down. Number one, we're still down 20 to 25 basis points. And I want you to write this down if you would, please. We're still down 20 to 25 basis points from the beginning of September. Anytime that you have that type of movement, it's a really good thing. So we still want to lean into the fact, and how that translates over to your clients is, if they're buying, they have 3% more affordability. So their $400,000, $500,000 home that they were looking at, they now have affordability at 412, at $12,000 to $20,000 more, which means they can offer more, which isn't necessary, I think, in this market based upon inventory, or they can look at something that's a little bit higher. Does that make sense? Okay. So Corey, like now I'm taking Corey out. Corey's looking at $400,000 homes. We can probably now start looking at $420,000 homes, which means they have more opportunity to get some of the amenities that they maybe would have missed out before. Okay. And that's how I'm going to position that conversation is, hey, great news. The Fed cut rates, the rate move happened prior to, we're still down 20 to 25 basis points. Mr. or Mrs. Hey, Corey, do you know what that means to you? No, Bill, what does that mean? It means you've got almost $20,000 more in your pocket. How would you want to use that? Do you want to use that for stronger offers, or would you rather look at higher priced homes to be able to get more of the amenities that you want, right? Okay. So it's still a benefit. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Right. Okay. So that's how I'm going to position that. The other piece is this. From the end of May 22nd, all the way through to today, we're down 70 basis points. Okay. Right. Like in the last 120-ish plus days, rates have come down 70 basis points, which means that there's even more. I just want to have that narrative with them be something where they still see the benefit, the value of acting right now. Okay. Now, one last thing. Write this down really quick, if you would, please. We're at an 86% chance of a rate cut in October. October the 29th rate cut chance is 86%. Excuse me. And the December 10th is a 95% chance of a rate cut. So probability chance is that we're going to see 2 more rate cuts, which will hopefully get us down into the low 6s, maybe even the high 5s. Okay. So we're going to see that domino continue to fall. My narrative with you guys right now is this. All right. Is that I don't think the market substantially changes until April of this next year. And why is that? Why does anyone want to? I'll give you a free coaching call if you can tag this, like literally, like with me, not with one of my coaches, with me, right? Why do you think that is?
The election's coming up.
Yeah, so you're close. It's close to an election, right? It's an appointment, right? Okay. So, hey, I tell you what, Corey, you're going to get a coaching call. All right. Because you at least made the unmute yourself and took a swing at the freaking ball coming your way. So, I'll give you, you need to send this to me, coachbpipes@gmail. Write that down, coachbpipes@gmail. And then Kath will get you all set. Just send me an email and say, Pipes, I won, right? I won because I tried. In May, there's going to be Jerome Powell, who is the problematic problem with this entire thing, is going to be out of his position, reappointed with somebody else that is appointed by Donald Trump, which is ironic because Jerome Powell was appointed by Donald Trump. You're going to get someone in there, potentially Chris Waller, right, who is more aligned with lower rates. And because you get someone in there that's more aligned with lower rates, we're going to see some movement. But until that time, I'm not overly optimistic in terms of Jerome Powell doing the right thing okay, in relationship to what needs to take place. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, so it's just going to be a little bit of a tug of war back and forth between the executive branch of our country and the Fed at that point, right? I believe the Fed will do the minimum that they need to do based upon public perception and economic perception, and they're not going to do any more. Okay, and because of that, April, May is when the new Fed chair gets in. April is when he is announced. So at that point, markets will respond. So that gives us November, December, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, about 6 to 8 months where we're still going to be dealing with a little bit of uncertainty in the markets. Okay. So I want to create the right expectation. Will rates come down? Yes. Will they come down substantially? We don't know. Okay, but they will, like, you'll see a forced rate drop. So we're just gonna, like, I do that for you and say that to you guys, not for you to take that out to your clients, more for you to recognize for yourself, like, hey, okay, it's going to be a grind for about another 6 months. Does that make sense, guys? Like, it's just going to be like nose down, like Alicia, like grinding, having to continue. Excuse me, my room, apologize, was Arctic thunder last night here at the Westin. So it was like freezing cold. Okay. So today, now, by the way, any questions on that, guys? Any questions how to position that? Benefit of that? No? Okay. We've had the conversation. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the conversation and the around past clients and Sphere and Jimmy Rex coming in. We're going to do the same thing around open houses right now. Okay, guys. Okay, we're gonna have the same conversation right now around open houses. Just so that you know, like, I think all of you recognize this. My intent always is to get all of you guys over 7 figures. Period. That's just my intent. Like, if you're showing up to these calls, if you're engaging, if you're plugging in, like, I want to see you 7 figures. And whether that's in a year or 2 years or 3 years. And for someone like Alicia, that's part of Provident. That 7 figures is an equivalent of about a $300,000 to $350,000 income level. Why? Because she's on a team. And if you're on a team, guess what? You have no overhead, you have no expenses. Your margins are equal to, like, honestly, $1 million in a real estate team that's a solopreneur, with expenses and everything else, and team that you have to pay out, comes in at about, if you have 35%, 40% margins, you're doing really damn well. Nazar, would you agree with me on that? Like a 35 to 40% margin rate for a solopreneur with a small team is.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt, right? Okay, so just recognize when I say 7 figures, if you're on a team, it's 350, maybe 400. Okay, and what I've always found, in all the years of guys, 120,000 coaching calls, like, that's a boatload, 60,000 hours. And you can get there with 3 different lead sources. And by the way, if I freeze, there it is. I'm going to
Come on in.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. You can get there with 3 lead sources. I'm going to just keep reinforcing this for you. And by the way, at the L7 event, which I hope a lot of you are coming to, we are legitimately giving you the entire playbook for these 3 lead sources, like what to do, what to market, how to do it, what to say, like the entire process. Those 3, I call them the key 3, the key 3. And those key 3 are this: past clients and Sphere for repeat and referral business. We talked about that over the last couple of calls. Number 2, M, are open houses. And open houses, Nico, range from really good to somewhat anemic depending upon the market. Now, moving into 2026, here, Corey, I legitimately see data that can support the fact that with lower rates, there'll be more interest and open houses will be more fruitful, right, than they have been in the past, than the past 18 to 24 months. Now, it's 18 to 24 months. They've been a little bit drier than what we have seen in the past. But if you guys go back to 2020, 2021, 2022, before the market shifted at the end of 22 and December, man, open houses were really good. You'd have, like, how many of you guys remember those days? Like, of like a ton of people coming through, right? Okay, post pandemic, post the put your booties on. Do you guys remember this? put your booties on, hand sanitizer, all that stuff of like 2019, 2020. Post that, like it just took off, right? And then number three is this. The third lead source is online leads, whether that be a pay to play like a Zillow, Realtor.com, Ojo, whatever, or even your own pay-per-click marketing, advertising, or meta ads, right? You need to have some type of presence that's going out there, okay? Like a pay to play component. You can start with low cost of just doing your own social media posting to be able to generate and drive, and then move into reinvesting into it. So we're gonna go to the second part, which is because we talked about past clients in Sphere. We're gonna talk about open houses, okay? And I think that the first conversation that I want to have with you guys around this is something that Mike Ferry used. You guys know, like I was listening to an old Mike Ferry recording. Nazar, you used to attend Mike Ferry, right?
I did.
Do you remember going to the mic?
I never did.
You never did? Yeah. Okay. People would go to the mic and it was like, oh man, like it was just brutal. But Mike Ferry, when people used to talk about open houses, used to say they're stupid. He would literally spit on the stage. Pooey, right? You don't want to do them. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that, like literally, like the person that brought real estate coaching to the forefront of the entire world, like said open houses are stupid and you should never do them? What do you think that is, guys? And let's unmute ourselves, have an open dialogue, because it's important to understand why they don't work so that we can start to talk about why they do. What do you think, guys? And Nazar, I'm going to muzzle you because I never would disrespect you that way, but I'd love to have these guys like jump in really quick. What do you think?
I mean, was he looking at it for the purpose of trying to sell the home instead of trying to generate business from the people there? I mean, that would be one reason why they would be not very fruitful.
For sure, Corey, because he looked at it from one myopic situation, generating buyers. Okay, that's part of it for sure. Anyone else?
I would say spending time with people who want to buy rather than, I mean, like, being with the people who are actively looking and spending your time there with instead of waiting for somebody to come in
It's
to an open
passive.
house.
Like Rochelle,
Right.
it's passive, right, Roro?
Yeah.
Like it's a passive process at that point. Yeah, for sure. Nazar, what do you think, dude? Mike, like, what do you think that was?
No, it's exactly that. I mean, Mike's more of a pick up the phone and actively prospect for clients versus sitting there passively waiting for people to come to your, because you don't have control over that, right? You don't have control of who's going to walk through that door.
So if you look at, it's awesome, guys. If you look at how the average agent runs an open house, what do you think they do? Average. Remember, the average agent made $48,000 last year. Okay, 48,000. They're better off working at McDonald's, by the way. Like that's $18 per hour. They should go a different script called "Do you want fries with that burger?" versus "When do you plan on moving?" Right? Okay, what's the average agent do? Average open house process strategy. Because remember, it's skills, standard, strategy. That's what gets you to seven figures. Skills, standard, strategy. What do you think? What do they
You
do?
just show up and wait.
Lucy, you're 100% correct. They put a sign out potentially, right? Maybe they rely upon Zillow or something else to be able to market it. That's their marketing, right? They don't door knock. And here's the key part too. So when someone comes in, they're not going to follow up with them, right? They just don't. I will give you a personal example. Michelle, my first wife, and I were looking at a house in Newport, or looking at houses in Newport Beach. We were working with a woman by the name of Linda Stevens, was our agent. Okay. And Linda's like, go out and look at open houses, right? Like, just tell them whatever. We went out, and in the Newport Beach, Corona del Mar area, right, of California, we probably looked at 40 open houses. Okay. Now we were qualified, motivated buyers. Do you want to guess how many of those agents actually followed up with us? One. We got one email. That was it. Like it was bananas to me, right? And I even remember walking in. So if you look at an effective open house, it's got a couple of components. I'm about to unpack this for you, and we're going to unpack this over the next couple of calls. I'm going to bring my buddy Danny Burgess in on this. This guy runs the most insane open house strategy. You guys know my goal is to give you the strategy and then to bring in someone that utilizes that strategy effectively so that you can hear from him or her what they do so you can rip it off and duplicate it, right? Okay. So I remember walking into an open house. It was in Newport Shores. There was a gentleman that was sitting in a lazy boy recliner chair. It was a beautiful house. Big screen TV in the living room. Corey, he's watching football because it's a Sunday. As we walk in, Nazar, he says, "Take a look at the house." And I'm Michelle, I go through the house, right? And as we're looking at the house, we come back out. We say, "It's a beautiful house." He goes, "Great." He goes, "Flyers are on your way out." That's what he said to us. Corey, flyers are on the way out of the house. I'm like, okay. I go, "Are you the owner, Nico?" He goes, "No, I'm the agent." Right. And we're like, okay. Like, so like we had 40-ish Lucy open houses we attended. Now I was not an agent at that time, right? I was not an agent. I didn't have my license, etc. Right. And so we looked at all those. One person followed up out of 40. And the experience of when we were in was absolutely horrific. And this is Newport Beach, California, right? You know, Corona Del Mar. You would expect a higher quality and caliber. So here's what I want you to recognize. An effective open house has 3 pieces that you need to master. Number 1, please write this down. And we're going to go through all of these. We're going to unpack every single one of these. Number 1 is the marketing that you do to create awareness. What are you going to do to market and create awareness? Now, I love what Corey said. It's awareness not just for buyers, but my belief is this. A great open house should attract at least 1 or 2 seller leads of people that are in the neighborhood as well too. Because we all know that, you know, like if that house sells, statistics prove that there's 1 or 2 more people that are going to be coming to the market in the next 6 to 8 months. How do we capture that in addition to creating awareness for the buyers? Number 2, write down, is the experience that someone has when they attend the open house. Is it representative of you, your brand, what you do? Does it capture them? Does it position you as an expert? And then number 3, the third component to the successful open house is the follow-up that ultimately takes place afterwards. Xander, bro, that's where I think agents poop the bed the most. You know what I mean? I mean, I think honestly, Roro, I think Sela, the first 2 are mediocre at best. The third is absolutely anemic, right? Okay. In terms of follow-up that takes place. And I've always said, why even do the open house if you're not going to follow up with the leads effectively and aggressively after they come in, regardless of if they say I have an agent or not. Okay. So let's think about this. All right, guys. So watch. Now, if you're going to start to really tackle and make a world-class open house strategy, I'm not going to ask you to take on all 3 of these at the same time. I'm going to say, cool, take on 1, get really good at that, add the second, add the third. That's how you become really good at something. The first is I want as many people aware, attending, and coming to the open house as possible. Okay. So there's a process for that. Number 1 is this, okay, is I think you should run what we found is effective. Run an open house for the first 2 or 3 weeks of your new listing. Okay, 2 or 3 weeks. After that, Rochelle, it's literally a law of diminishing returns, right? Okay. Like I mean, granted, maybe I don't have anything else to do. I could do some work. Okay, cool. I got it. But the aggressive approach is the first 2 weeks. Why? The listing's new, it's fresh, there's awareness around it, etc. Okay. And what should you be doing? Right. Well, there we go. I'm back. It is a combination of number one, door knocking around the neighborhood. So I want you to write this down. Number one is you should door knock the 50 homes directly surrounding that property. 50. Okay. My good buddy Kyle Whistle used to do this when he was actively selling. They used to, Nazar, do you remember this when Kyle was actively selling? He used to do the most insane mega open house experiences, right? Okay. But they would door knock 50, then they would dial like 200 more around. Okay. The door knock is 50 and you're dropping, and we can send some out to you, Nazar. And Nazar, you may even have some yourself, but you're going to drop. Some people would go so far to have a really nice invitation. Some would just use a postcard, etc. But knock, knock, knock. Hey, my name is Bill Pipes with Fiv Real Estate, with Provident Real Estate, with Banana Real Estate, right? I'm representing the Joneses on 1234 Primrose Lane, right, in the sale of their house. We're really excited to bring this listing to market. I wanted to stop by, let you know that we're going to be doing an open house on Sunday, the 14th, or Saturday, this time, or this date, from this time to this time. By the way, now, there's 2 different ways to run this. You can run just one open house for everyone, or you could run a dual open house that has a neighbors only for about an hour, and then a public open house after that for 2 or 3 hours. What do you guys see the benefit is to doing that neighbors only? Like when you knock and you say, hey, Corey, this is I'm going to have an exclusive like little section for you guys from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock just for the neighbors. We want you to come over. It's sort of a going away party for the Smiths, right? Because we know we're going to sell this house. It'll give you a chance to see all the great things they've done to the property. And, at the same time, we're going to have it catered. There's going to be food there, etc. So we'd love for you guys to come. Could you make it? Right. Right. And that hour, it's just for the neighbors. What's the benefit of that, by the way?
Can I just chime in real quick? I'm loving the energy of this group right now. It is so fun. We're getting, we're so excited. I don't know why there's like this, and maybe it's because we're not in person. I just feel like there's like lack of like excitement about this opportunity. Bill, yes, we would be doing that so that we can generate more listing opportunities. And it's interesting, like, do you guys like go to the gym and see those people that go to the gym and spend an hour? All they do is just talk and then they go home.
Yeah.
And you do that for a month, you're gonna not gain any muscle.
No.
I see so many agents do open houses and they just check a box. Oh, I was there, I did it. But like you're missing the opportunity of like connecting face to face with people that want to buy or sell. I mean, if someone's gonna be wasting their time driving around, wasting gas, looking at homes for sale.
People don't do that, right, Nazar? They don't just go, hey, I don't go to Angie, right? Who some of you know, and go, Angie, it's Sunday. We could play golf. We could go to a movie. We could go drive around and look at 5 open houses if you want to. That's just not part of the game. Unless what? We're have some intent in the future of buying a house, right, guys? Like that's the thing. And you got to recognize that am I back? Okay, cool. We got to recognize people don't just randomly get in their damn car and go, let's just go drive around. Nino, you look like John Cheplack right now. I got to tell you, like, it's actually cracking me up. Like, you got the John Cheplack vibe right now. People don't do that shit, right? They get in their car, they go to an open house because there's some intent, right? But let's back up. If we know that there's a really high probability that someone in the neighborhood is going to bring their home to market. And to Corey's part, to Xander's part, we want to capture that person, right? Okay. I don't want to throw them in with the rest of the people that are coming in. And right now you may say, well, coach, man, there's not a lot of people coming to open houses. Well, we play the game. We play chess, not checkers. Makes sense? We know that this is, as rates come down, there's going to be more activity. We know there's going to be more people. When you have a open house that has 20 or 25 groups that come through, which we've seen happen even recently, and all of a sudden you've got the neighbors that are coming in as well too. They get lost in the shuffle of everybody else, and you miss the opportunity to connect with them. Does that make sense? When I segment this off and I say, cool, for this hour, I know it's the neighbors that are coming. I can spend more time. I can be the mayor. I can have the conversations that matter about them possibly selling, and they get to see the experience of what I do to sell houses. Does that make sense, guys? Yes or no? Okay, right? It's so powerful. Then what happens? Go ahead, Nazar, please.
I want to say, like, just like how you had a bad experience, the last listing that I took, the guy found me on ChatGPT, but even before then, he went and did some open houses around his neighborhood. And he went to one of our open houses, the one that my own team did, and he was very underwhelmed by how they treated him while he was there. And he's like, oh, this is how these guys operate. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
And so he like went and listed with another agent first, and then they had a bad experience, and then came back. Like, you guys, you are on audition at an open house.
Yeah.
The way you dress, the way you present yourself, the way you show off the house, the way you market the property, the way you smile and give them attention, look in their eyes, like all those things make such a huge impact that you don't even think about it until after the fact. And you're being interviewed for the job of potentially selling another property. They won't tell you that. They're not saying, I'm here to interview you. They're just trying to see if there's a good vibe and see how you show up. And so, like, do the open house, meet the people, but when you're there, also, like, be happy, be, full of energy, and be prepared so that you come with knowledge. And so that when they're there, they talk to you, they're like, wow, this person they know what they're doing. I want to list with them.
I want to list with them, or wow, if I haven't signed a buyer broker agreement, which most of the people, even though they say, oh, I'm working with an agent, that is a freaking reflex no. Do you guys realize that? That's the same as Roro, you walking into freaking Gucci, right? And then, or the Gucci store or wherever, or Louis Vuitton, and the salesperson walks up to you and says, can I help you? And you're like, well, no, I'm just looking right now, right? It's the same exact thing, right? And I want you guys to recognize that. But to Nazar's point, you're on stage that entire time. They are there because they're interested in the house, and then you're there to show them why they should work with you. So here's what we're going to do. On the next call, I'm going to take you through the entire process. Like, I wanted you guys to understand why they don't work so that we can actually lean into what to do to make them work, right? I'm going to give you guys some examples. We'll do that on the next call. And then the following call, I'll bring Danny Burgess in. Danny Burgess has some insane hacks, guys. Like, he has a book that says, it literally says, for my personal clients only. That's what it is, right? And then people go, what is that, right? Nico, they're like, what is that? Oh, I'm sorry, those are the listings that are off market that I actually utilize for my personal clients, right? Which, like, it's they're like, well, how do I get that? Oh, we should set an appointment so we can sit down and I can find out more about what your wants, dreams, and plans are, and see how we can help you. Oh, can I look at it right now? No, we can look at that during the meeting, right? Like, these are things that I actually use exclusively. There's so many really wonderful hacks, but you got to get the next call, the foundation down. Does that make sense? Foundation of how we market, foundation of how we show up, and then how we follow up, right? We'll probably do the follow up after we have the call with Danny. Okay. So my goal out of all of this is to get you through the key three, right? So that you actually have the entire strategy for all three of those to be able to do, anywhere from 20 to 25, anywhere from 15 to 20 transactions from each of them. If you do 15 to 20, that's 45 to 60 in California or wherever you are. In most cases, that's $1 million worth of real estate of commissions that you've earned at that point. That's what I want for you guys. Okay.
You guys, if you think about, like, all the new construction that you see, all the new builders, the ones that are larger, what do they all have? They do open houses 6 days a week. Open houses 6 days a week. And what do they sell? They sell a ton of homes. Why? Because people find them online.
Capture, follow up, and freaking transact.
And so, like, imagine, and I know that in some areas, open house signs are not allowed to be placed in the community during the week, right? And I bet you that limits people's, oh, well, I can't do an open house during the week. No, you can do an open house during the week. You just can't have a for sale or an open house sign out. Doesn't mean that you still can't advertise in a whole bunch of other ways to get people there at the open house. So don't, like, use that as your office. Use it as your office for the day or for 4 hours out of the day. Imagine if you did an open house every single day, what would happen? You'd get to meet face to face with potential buyers and sellers. And I promise you'd do more transactions if you did.
There's no doubt. And you build your pipeline of potential future business as well, too, with buyers, which the only thing it costs you is time. That's the beauty of it. If you don't have a lot of revenue to be able to actually invest into online leads or other sources, you do have the time. Okay. All right. Okay. Awesome, guys. I'm really excited to continue to unpack this. I'll look forward to our call in 2 weeks. If you haven't, hey guys, L7, check it out. We're knee deep. We're 2.5 weeks out right now from this amazing event. We'd love to see as many of you guys there. Just go to the L7event.com, get some information there. Other than that, guys, crush this. You got a great couple of weeks ahead of you. The markets are going to be moving favorably for us, just a little bit slower than we expect. But, and we got 200,000 agents getting out of the business. That's the beauty, right? Which means more opportunity for every single one of you guys. I'll see you guys on the next call. Thanks again. Take care.